And I reflect throughout the course of this journey, the spiritual journey, this race of faith, throughout the course of these years. And I reflect and I think the one thing, if I was going to be known for something, I wanted it to be, of course, God's work. He gave me a unique way of glorifying him, which was my talent or my, that which interests me. I find joy and happiness in doing, which is my craft, and writing and all that. So if I was going to be known for something, I wanted it to be that, I didn't want it to be because, of the egregious persecution I've been under, without cause, that which I never was equipped to fight according to the same measures that was happening to my life. Like, it wasn't a way that I could fight, in like faction, according to what was attacking me and how I was being attacked and the magnitude, gravity, and power that was used on me regularly every day, all those years, That's, and the need for help, and if anything, that's where the desperation came from, because the circumstances was so unnatural. I was never taught, or briefed or educated on what that was or how, like on the onset of those, like some of the darkest times in my life, and this darker time in my life, it's it can be placed under like an umbrella term of being encapsulated, like this whole scenario has been one long running darkness. It's like a shadow, all these types of it's not just some inordinate idea of just some darkness just there, but it's an actual attack. It was like it was actually being did, that it wasn't just some bad luck or misfortune just in a cloud just hanging. Nah, it was actually being done. It was being dealt all that time. And so me, the nature of it being something I was not familiar with nor prepared to face, that's so I needed, of course, anybody, it needed help. It's like throwing, a toddler in, I don't know, boxing ring or something. Like, something, like something like it wasn't a equal or fair situation and, battle, if that's what it was, to be called, and whatever was the opposition had full, very detailed, knowledge of that. And they knew, like, they knew because it's impossible not to have known, what manner of person, they was dealing with, being, follow the Lord Christ, church, Christianity, the things that always, the things that make a foundation of my, not just my contribution, but my life, even up to this day, still, and throughout the course of that still, and before that still, so if I was going to be known for something, trust me, I hated the fact that it was before it was to be known for, needing like some kind of like, like awareness on the situation of that magnitude. I rather wanted it to be for, my talent, what I was doing. And to be honest, that was the case for a while. Like that was the case for a while. But the attack made it, sabotaged it to the point where it couldn't fully be the situation. You know, like the sabotage, like it was an attack on that, you know, but it wasn't directly attacking that until, like, it was like in moderation. In moderation, it'll be heavy attacks on various parts of my life simultaneously. So it was merciless, and it was meant for nobody to survive. Whoever this happened to, is no option for them but to die. You know, if it's the only option for them, like, and without Christ Jesus, that's the situation, you know. But I didn't want to be known for that, you know. I wanted, like, people, you know, like others who, you know, successful and, you know, like part of society that prosper and flourish, you know, from as a result of hard work and things, you know, what I fit in, you know. Because, I mean, I know I'm all too familiar with the lonely nights, dark nights, sacrifice and discipline and, you know, all of these things. And I'm familiar with that, you know, myself. I put in the work and I deserved that. But instead, it was being taken from me, you know, strategically and systematically, you know, and intentionally and deliberately, like. And it's unnatural, you know. I didn't realize how unnatural it was until later. So I needed, you know, some kind of like help, you know, assistance or something, you know. And so that's all, you know. So if any desperation, that's where it came from, you know, because it's like I was designated to not be, I was designated to not live. Like, it's the weirdest thing, like. But it wasn't just coincidence. I don't know. It's been very, very painful, long, dark, you know, crazy situation and road, you know. And I wanted to be known for my potential and what I could do, you know, in accordance with my craft and my skill set, what I work, you know, day and night. Even while, you know, the persecution rate, through the power of God, He allowed me. That was the only thing that helped me keep my sanity, being able to express myself about it, you know. And then you look back in history, you see, I mean, it's a lot of things that I don't have to even mention, you know. I feel like, you know, it all speak for itself, you know. I just prayed for, if I couldn't get peace, you know, I wanted to at least pray for the exposure and the chance for, you know, my story to be heard, you know, and my legacy to not be destroyed under false reasons, you know, and things used to distort the truth. And it's been a mess, like, you know. I live for God. I did. And that's what I still do for, you know what I mean? So I guess it's just like the man part of you know, just make you feel like, I guess it's pride, ego, things like that, you know, that at first you like, oh man, okay, so I know I'm already, you know, I already was successful, you know, as a notable artist, you know, I mean, as far as like in my particular profession, you know, being, you know, poetry or whatever. So, but whoever was doing this, they did this to associate this quote unquote bad publicity with my good, you know, potential for good and contribution, and overshadow that with the reality of what I was facing, and then misrepresent my character as weakness, when in reality, the circumstances that they were doing from positions, you know, like as far as like high society, for which I can't, you know, I'm being a poor man that follow God, you know, with talent for the, you know, writing. I mean, with a passion for writing, I mean, I was, you know, not equipped to fight anybody on those kind of levels, you know, but that was dealt in spite of. So it's like, I mean, It's not weakness. I fought with everything I had in me to this day. I just couldn't fight according to what I was being fought with, because for one, it does not align to the scripture, and for two, it's not an even playing field. It's not an even kill, and I was overkilled, more times than you could count, but most may have the patience to count up to, but God knows, he kept track, so God tell me he got me, for when I pass over and go to the other side, God already told me he got me, because me and God both know that that's the, like, it ain't so, it ain't too many more, it's just like, I'll just put it like this, while I'm in the earth, I'm going to do God's will to the fullest of my ability, and then I want to glorify him, and then I want to inspire and encourage, uplift, and help, in the ways that I can, from what I do in my profession, as an artist, just from where my bracket is, it's various types of brackets in society, everybody into different stuff, but I can speak for me and myself and my reality, so I still pray, a lot of stuff I was denied that, for no substantial reason that others don't have to worry about, like the opportunities I can't get back in time, I can't get back, unless God give it to me, that's a different kind of hurt, it's not weakness, it's like, that's how it is, and so the sabotaging of my life didn't go nowhere though. That's like, you can balance out your life and don't allow different, like you compartmentalize it where other things don't cross, or it don't, have like no association with each other, unless outside forces or outside parties try to make it that, with the intention of sabotaging your life, which also contribute to, that ideal concept of crime. So either way is not right. Either way, Christ Jesus is truth and the light, and that extra is being done by whatever hates God. It's that simple, whether it's actively or passively. What God intends, nothing can prevent it. So it's not it's not always what's obvious. It's what's to be expected, your life. It's not always something obvious that reality, I learned that the hard way, on more than one occasion. Life just ain't that clear cut, So as much as I hate the fact that, I did get some, in the eyes of some, it counts as bad publicity, because I had to express what was happening in my life just for a small slither of hope that, I could like have some kind of help according to what it was I was facing. It's like a toddler being bullied by a full grown, person or something, like, it's you can't, you're not weak for saying, hey, somebody come help me with, man. Say, I don't know what this is, what is going on, that's not, what is this? That's how it was. Those be like, you weak and all this. More than likely, they was the ones throwing the blows at you. They knew about it. Whatever. What? as ego and as for ego, pride, and all that stuff, been gone out the window. Yeah, dog, man. It's like it's straight survival. Just the ability, it's just the situation is like it surpasses all the parameters of like the idea of what a person, of how like how somebody in society's like just the existence of the concept of a society, and the civility therein, like it surpasses all of that, like in its entirety. And that's how I knew God wanted me to do something for him, because none of it made sense, And I heard when I was young, if something don't make sense, it's always the devil that's involved in it some kind of way. And I ain't talking about not making sense like something you don't understand with the wisdom of God. I'm talking about with the wisdom of God, it don't make sense rationally or logically, and it's damaging. It's probably the devil. So I like it or not, it's what it's the reality. It's this is what I was given to work with, So, but I still put out my even to this day, I try to keep that steady supply of new material, and I was just speaking on social media today, actually. What's the day? The 18th of August, I was speaking on that art as an artist. That's not my problem. I could easily drop some meaningful material. I've been doing it's no problem for me, to relate on many levels with various walks of life. That's what I always was been able to do. I always was able to relate and speak to various different types of life, walks of life, because the reality that I based my whole contribution on was spiritual. It wasn't something that's physical. Physical has limits. Physicality has limits. You can't relate somewhere that you never been. But spiritually is all that some have that central origin, which was founded in God. And then the spirit fruits are things for which there is no law against, as found in the scriptures. So, that's what I, base my life around, and along with testimonies, from what I was going through, as well as my time with God, and then the panegyrics, and, all of that. So, the whole time, my whole idea and everything been centered around God. There been various types of strategies and satanic traps and all kinds of sophisticated maneuvers and strategies to to label God the devil, to justify the devil doing evil to God and the things of God. That's been a never-ending cycle, So that's something I don't expect to end, but I got hope and faith in God. So in spite of, I still want to bring light to people's lives, like I had been doing. If my struggles, pain, and heartache can get light to somebody else's life, then I was good. Cause tell you that no matter how bad you or what you're going through, somebody going through this or that, or somebody don't even have a life, don't even have a life, and not in the way you think, somebody don't even have a life. There wasn't nothing they could do about it, and that's, to look at it. No matter how rough it get, I look at my cross and it give me strength, Because I think about simple things God, He been enough for me throughout the years. And I think about the glory that shall be revealed in us. Can't compare to the sufferings we experience at this time. And then, when you constantly fellowship with God and you always got to pray to Him and everything, stay in communication with Him, then it'll become clear. Like as I say it a lot, those that saved, we just passing through, It's just the spiritual beings having physical experience, not the other way around, Yeah. So, I ain't gonna talk you ill off, but just understanding that, I'm aware of how this persecution made me look, to the public eye, maybe, or potentially. But that's not really one of my main concerns, to be honest with you. I'm appreciative to anybody and everybody that, hearken to my reality, with good intentions, with genuine, upright, sincere, sincerity. And, even if it's nothing but prayers, I'm good with that. I don't need nothing but prayers. I'm perfectly fine with that. Because you'll be surprised how the prayers of the righteous avail it much. Trust me. Avail it much. Man, it's awesome, man. And I words can express how grateful I am for prayers, with good intentions and good heart, because the pure heart shall see God, most definitely. So, I was aware of how I was misportrayed and all of this. I've been fighting it for years. Word curses, word traps, distortion, smear about what is it's like it's seeds, man. Like I spoke about years ago in recordings. It's seeds, man. Like seeds you plant, they multiply after their own kind, and then they spoil, they spread. So you plant good seeds or bad seeds, If a bad seed planted in your legacy, according to the substance of your legacy, Now, for some people, it don't apply to because their legacy is not really, it's not, whatever. Certain seeds do more damage to other types of fruit. How about that? Like other types of harvest, or it's like different seeds do different damage to different structures. I put it like that, So if your structure is something founded in words, God put that word curse is going to be something that's extremely potentially damaging to your harvest. So that's something that you have speak on, man. The others, it may not be. To others that their craft might be something, that's not really based on that kind of, it's not really affected by that type of seed, So negative seed planted in. If you don't address it, if you have to, if you ain't already addressed it, then it's going to destroy your legacy on down the road. Unattended. It's like a scar. You let it fester. It's going to get infected. And before you know it, all your fruits spoil you. And you don't even know how. And that's where God come in. Because He see when you do something for God, He intervenes. And He give you knowledge. And He give you understanding of things that the devil doing on the low. They don't want you to know. So your fruits and stuff be spoiled in the long run. But God intervenes because if you're working for Him, then He benefits from the glory that your fruits give, the glory. So it ain't you. It ain't just you. If you just if I was just doing something for me, then God wouldn't really, He's not, He's not being glorified. So He's not really in His interest to defend my legacy or craft or something, He's there though, because He's faithful, But when you're doing something for God, He especially get involved because the devil is especially going to get involved against you. And that's real.